Much like humans, animals create very strong emotional bonds with their families and even owners. You might think that a lost pet might forget you, but animals rarely do forget their loved ones. In the wilderness, when disaster hits, animals get separated very easily. However, if fate wills, they are reunited. And those moments are some of the most heartwarming ones you can imagine. Here are some similar heartwarming stories just like that. Out of all of the safari animals to exist, elephants are the ones with the most advanced emotional bonds. This poor elephant calf lost his way and fell into a well in North Kenya. Most elephant calves spend their early years with their mothers, so this poor baby was devastated and scared the whole time he was down there in the hole. Luckily, a few rangers managed to get him out safe and sound. They took care of him until his mother was located, and even though the calf was quite fussy, their reunion moment was extremely precious. Take a look for yourself. Some people just have a special bond with animals, and one of them is Dean Schneider. This guy discovered his love for wild animals at the age of 7. After that, he spent his whole life taking care of lions and other safari animals that most people would be too scared to go near. He raised this whole pride of lions all by himself, but due to personal matters, he had to leave for 2 months. He thought the lions might not remember him or even recognize him, but by the looks of this clip, they remembered it all. In fact, they were so eager to see him that they wouldn't let him go. Geese are notorious for their aggressive behavior towards humans, but not all geese are the same. After seeing this clip, you'll change your perspective of them instantly. This woman had been friends with a goose at her local park for much of her life, but as she grew up, she had to leave town. But once, when she was visiting her parents, she found her long-lost goose friend. The most surprising part? The goose remembered her. At first, it seemed a little frightened, but as soon as the fussy bird saw who it was, it completely melted in the woman's arms. Baby animals have it tougher than you think. This baby otter was only 48 hours old when a strong tide separated it from its mother. Because the cub was so young, it couldn't even do anything but float where the current took it. Luckily, a biologist and a vet came to know about this and ventured out on a boat to find its mother. They would hold up the baby otter in front of multiple female otters to see their reaction. As soon as one of them started squealing and swimming towards the boat, they knew they had found the mother. Elephants truly don't forget anything or anyone. The man standing in the water is Derek Thompson, who was a caretaker of these elephants and tended to abused and advanced animals. Derek's job has him traveling all over the world. Wherever nature needs him, he goes there. In fact, in this video, he had been away from the Kamla elephant herd for about 14 months. As soon as he called the elephants over, they all came running and jumping to him despite being in the water. In just a matter of seconds, he was surrounded by a huge elephant group hug. Wildfires cause a lot of wreckage. Unfortunately, separating families is also included in this wreckage. 2 sibling bear cubs were separated at the age of 7 months old when a wildfire spread over 22,000 acres. The bears had both 2nd and 3rd degree burns all over them. Thankfully, employees from PAWS took the bears in until they were all better. They had to be medically stable before they could see each other. When they reunited the siblings, they were curious and confused at first, but as soon as they recognized each other, they couldn't stop hugging. The 4th of July is chaotic, not just for Americans, but also for their pets. Much like dogs and cats, this sheep, King Solomon, got scared of the extremely loud fireworks and ran off. Luckily, the local authorities started to look for him in time before he could get away too far. As soon as the owners saw their sheep, they let out a huge sigh of relief, while the sheep let out a huge bah! Baby goats are pretty silly creatures and get lost in all sorts of weird places. This one got stuck in a pit near a family's house. When the family noticed the constant bleeding, they decided to rescue him. Over the few days, a herd of goats recognized the tiny little calf. which led up to this adorable moment. The calf couldn't hold its excitement in and practically skipped its way to its mother. The pandemic took a toll on education animal foundations, including where Tofu was. This umbrella cockatoo worked at Feathered Follies as a store bird, but when COVID started, he had to be relocated to a pet shelter. When things started to go back to normal, a team member was able to track down their beloved store bird, and the exact moment they saw each other again was as precious as ever. All dog owners know how scary it is not to be able to find your pet. Unfortunately, Zoe's owner had to deal with her absence for about 6 years after someone stole her. Luckily, the San Diego Humane Society was able to find her, all thanks to a microchip in her collar. But even after 6 years, she remembered him like she saw him just yesterday. She couldn't stop barking and wagging her tail around. Baby elephants seem to get into all sorts of trouble. This one managed to get itself stuck in the mud. Not just that, it was stuck in the mud for days before someone informed the David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust Foundation, which then sent over people to help the calf out of the sticky situation. The baby elephant had also been separated from its mother, which just caused it to be more stressed in an already difficult situation. After much pulling and grabbing, they got the elephant out of there. But it was so startled that it started to run away from the people and towards its mom. Despite the mud in its eyes, it kept running. The Trust Foundation workers helped steer the calf in the right direction. Finally, when it saw its mother, it finally calmed down and stuck to her as if it were glue. Microchipping dogs has a lot of benefits, and after watching this, you'll know why. Kenyetta Tyler, a dog owner, lost her dog in Denver. 7 months later, she had to move to Texas, which meant that the chances of her finding her dog again would be near to zero. Luckily, a fellow citizen informed her that her dog had been found, which is when she flew back to Denver to get the poor guy. When it comes to cheetahs and other big cats, we don't expect them to run and hug us like dogs would. But this guy has a different relationship with them. Dolph Volker here has raised this cheetah since he was a cub, and when he was independent enough, Dolph left him to help other endangered animals. So after about 3 years, when he was reunited with her favorite animal, he wasn't sure what the cheetah's reaction would be. But oh boy, was he in for a treat. The cheetah jumped up and hugged him like a little cat. We might think of felines as cold-hearted creatures, but this one isn't a part of them. The owner of Jasper the cat had to relocate a few hours away from her new job. However, she couldn't take her blind dog along since she required more attention. So when the time came, she decided to record their small reunion, and it was the cutest reaction ever. Jasper did always have a special connection to their blind dog. Alright, comment below which of these reunion stories made you cry the most, and tell us about your similar experiences. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to TRENDJOINT, and hit the bell icon for more. See you in the next one.